Hey, Donald Miller's Electrical Services. Thanks for watching. We are done our rough wiring and we're starting to prep the plaster for the lime top coat. We have a base coat of Structolite in and we're getting ready to do our second coat of Structolite. This is authentic plaster patching. So this is just how we patch plaster homes after we make all the holes to rewire them. This keeps the house original to whenever it was built. They used plaster, we're using Structolite. We're using wire mesh, we're using wood lath. We're trying not to disturb the integrity of the plaster throughout the home. That's what makes certain rewires better than the other ones. When you start using joint compound, any type of compound to patch it, you're not using products that were from the time period of the home. And where it might not matter in certain areas, but you know, some of the older homes and the more beautiful homes of Ardmore and the main line, it gives it its due justice. Its due diligence. You know, you should patch with plaster. At least the homeowner should be wanting it to be patched with plaster, if at all possible. But let me show you. All right, so these are the switch boxes. All right, and basically the box is in there, and then we have to reframe with mesh, and then we do a plaster Structolite. We set it in there, we let it grab into the wood. All right, we were able to avoid any notching here. We fished up into the center, and then we had to notch in between the joists, screw through the joists, and then use wire mesh in this application. We had to use a long drill bit to get out to the front porch, but we were able to get it done. A lot of the fishing that we did here was to avoid notching into this wood. The wood is original, so we're trying to preserve it at all cost. The notches we made in here, that was one of our large notches. And then we actually used wood lath behind the wire mesh, and then we put wire mesh in, and then we did a couple layers of Structolite. So it's not just one layer, that's multiple layers. Here's a secondary hole, and again, we're avoiding the crown molding, even though it's small and it's a smaller crown molding, it's still original to the house, so we're trying to preserve it. All right, the main conductors go through here. All right. We have some hi-hats, and again, we're not making holes. So whenever we can avoid making a hole, we do. These are our hi-hats drilled through the center joist. Actually, there's two joists, and then we just fished in between them and grabbed the wire. All right, our switch boxes. This is how we're building out our switch boxes. A lot of times, this house was built in pre-1920. We're talking about like 1909. There's still oil lanterns in here, gas lanterns. The pipe work is still in there. We're cutting them out as we go. But there's a box in here, okay? And then we have the wood lath exposed. And then basically we're putting Structolite in to key back into the wood lath and create a solid wall again. This started 2 days ago, Sunday, when we started hydrating the walls to get it prepared for the Structolite. There's a lot of prep work into plaster restoration if you're trying to keep the plaster look of the home. That's why we include plaster patching in all of our estimates, or at least it's an option. You don't have to do it. You can easily take that out of the estimate and do it however you would like. But because plastermen are so hard to find, we try to include the number in it and do it ourselves when possible. Plaster guys are going to be faster than I am, but as far as getting the quality is there, you know, it might take us longer, but we're going to keep that quality. All right, and I'm going to take you to the second floor, and I'm going to show you just a couple more holes that we patched and how we're using the wire mesh. We use nail plates behind the wire mesh. There's nail plates here. All right, we have to do that for the inspector, so the inspector can see that we are protecting the wires as we do everything. All right, now this is one of our second floor channels. This is our main channel. That was a big one. This room's a little damaged, so the moment we cut into it, we had plaster restoration going for us already. But it's all just part of it. When we're done, this will look gorgeous. But for right now, We have our wire mesh, we have our base coat, and some of these might actually have a second coat. But for the most part, this should be our base to second coat. All right. And this cures. This is gonna take about 24 hours to cure. While it's curing, we're gonna do a lime, we're gonna start marinating our lime. Our lime is mixed with gauging plaster right before we apply it, but we have to hydrate the lime beforehand. So we try to hydrate the lime one day before we use it. All right, and we're just showing holes here. Show you the outlets where, again, we're rebuilding the wall around the outlet. So the outlet isn't just there, but it's actually built into the wall again. It gives just a better bond where anyone that's rewired a house, when you use old work boxes, the quality isn't the same because the box is free. It can move around. When you build the wall back around the box becomes basically cemented back into the wall, like this guy. All right, see, it's all right back into the wall here. All right, and then we'll scrape this down and then we'll do our lime-based top coat. All right, here's our smoke detectors. This house decided to upgrade to present-day code for their outlet spacings. So we have outlets within 6 feet of each doorway and then 12 foot after that. They're under the baseboard. But here's our holes. There was a substantial amount of holes in this house. This is a large home. When, after we get done our lime-based top coat, we'll start cleaning the house. The house gets cleaned top to bottom. All right, we cannot leave any dust or remnants about. It has to be a lead-free environment. So we basically have to go into a certain cleaning methods. So if any lead were disturbed, we can clean it up. That's why the ram board's down. Okay, the ram board is it basically protects the hardwood floors from any type of lead getting worn into it and us having to do other issues. All right. But we're getting there, all right? So I'll start making another video when we do our lime-based top coat, all right? And I can show you some finished product. For right now, all the wires are in, and we've just made it through our first brown coat application. This is Donald Miller's Electrical Services. Have a nice day, take care, bye-bye.